Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I'm going to paint another one of my demons, and I'm going with neon. This time I think I want to do pink. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to coat all the flesh in flamenco red, which is going to be, I'm using water, or I'm moistening my brush with my tongue here. It's okay if you get it on the tusks and stuff. So we're going to come back and paint those. So I was pretty happy with the way the green one turned out. And though, like I said, I'm not real comfortable with real super bright colors, and it's not like my strength in painting, I still enjoyed it, and I think it looked good, decent when it was done. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. And on Discord, they definitely didn't have any complaints about it, so they thought it was okay. Now, I'm not sure if these are like scales or horns or part of the shirt or what those are, so we'll paint those red for now. Took hours to upload the videos from earlier. I would have come down here and done this, but you know, when it was warmer, it got up to a decent temperature where you could paint and enjoy it, but it got cold again. And Mrs. Doom doesn't know where the heaters are. We may have loaned them to people because last year there was some cold times, and she thinks that we might have loaned them out. So that's fine. I don't need one really. So he's wearing fingerless gloves. That's interesting. Everyone's wearing fingerless gloves. Oh, I saw a Spanish guy doing the Bartman. Oh, this hand is wearing fingerless gloves too. I was worried it was just going to be the one. Way too much paint for what I wanted there. Not sure how much really matters to paint up inside there, but I could reach it, so might as well, right? And it's okay if you get it on the feet, because we're going to come back and do the feet and the horns and stuff on this guy in like black and gray. So just get the hair covered. I think the hair is going to end up ultimately being purple or something like that, because I want it to be kind of vibrant and to work with it. But for now, we're going to do it all in pink and then come back and do around what we need to clean up. I think somebody's at my door. The dogs are acting fools. I think those are my dogs. It's got to be my dogs. I don't imagine any other dogs in the neighborhood I could hear that loud. All right, I think that's all the flesh. Now, I think. So let's get the +2 hot air gun burning and dry that up and start on the next layer, which is going to be Pink Parfait, which is a pretty vibrant pink. And it's going to be just like how the marsh green was kind of the color that started the neon look. I think that's how it's going to be the same kind of deal on this gentleman. Oh, that feels nice. Okay, there's a spot back in there that I missed. So I'm just going to get my brush stamp, get in there. Okay. That'd be all right. All right, I'm going to get this larger brush. Where's it at? Here. No, I don't like that one. I'm going to get one of these regiment brushes. I'm going to start the pink with the regiment brush. Let's get something bigger. I don't care if I get it on the clothes. The red's pretty dark, and it would be hard to hide, but the pink won't be. La, 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 la. So one time Asco and I were on a Discord for a YouTube channel. This is before I was really into doing this. I had a couple videos up for years, but I never did anything with them. And they did a review of DungeonSwag. Early on in the business, we gave a lot of YouTubers DungeonSwag miniatures, but they just didn't do the reviews, or they didn't paint them, or they didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't put any effort into it. But one YouTuber I think they painted a couple of them, him and his wife. We were on their Discord, and a Scorbik said something that offended them, and she yelled at him and stuff, and we kind of didn't like the attitude there and the stuff, but she told us that it's nobody's fault when they molest children. It's nobody's fault. It's just people don't understand boundaries. And to this day, whenever I do something that I think is morally reprehensible, I just tell myself, well, I probably don't understand the boundaries. Now, I don't do anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, when I wish I had stuff that wasn't mine, or when I lose my temper with someone, I say, I just must not understand the boundaries. It's a goddamn shame. I let it go. That is obnoxiously pink. I'm going to leave that brush. I'm not cleaning it out, but I am going to hit him with some hot air. Yeah, that is obnoxiously pink. But that's what we're going for, right? We're going for a neon kind of look. And I think that's how you get there. Yep. Just don't understand boundaries. Like when I'm an asshole to people and they don't deserve it, it's not my fault. There's like a culture in the world right now where people just aren't accountable, and people like her making outs for people who are doing things that are wrong are not helping the cause. Especially to believe that the majority of people acting in these terrible manners are they just don't know. They can't, you know, the boundaries are just too hard to fathom for them. All right, I can't handle it. That's as pink as it gets. All right, let's start doing armor. Well, let's do straps first. So I'm going to put pink away. And I did silver on kind of all the metal on the last one. So I'm going to do, I think, metallic browns on this one, maybe. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm getting melted chocolate, which is a pretty normal plain mid brown. Can I bring this camera down at all? No, that's kind of as far down as she goes. So let me tighten this back up. Okay. So we're going to do leather straps first. And there weren't many of those, but there's some on the arms. We're just going to take our time and do an easy, careful job with those. We don't want to go back over any pink if we can avoid it. We had somebody come on the website today and buy like one of everything. It was like super exciting because usually people just get the monthly box and that's kind of all they buy. We don't get a bunch of the one-offs. But they bought the boxes that were on there that were like old monthly boxes and the one-offs, and yeah, it was a pretty big deal, man. It's exciting. Because we like debated taking all the stuff besides the monthly box off. Or maybe changing things out to see what, you know, what might sell better. We had discussions of this magnitude multiple times. See, I'm not a businessman. Oh shit, look, we didn't do his tail at all. Holy crap in a bucket. All right, folks, hold on. Let's get this tail thing sorted out. So we had what, flamingo red? And those two pink colors. Was that pink? No, that's purple. What was it called? Cameo pink? Okay. Holy damn it. Nobody said anything. Shame on y'all. Oops. Thank God we can get all the way to the end. Alright. We'll hot air gun that. Look at this cameo pink, or what is this, pink parfait, this bright, obnoxious super pink. This guy's tail looks a little perverted. I would have liked it better if it was just a little point instead of that little arrow. I don't know why. I don't like that. And the cameo pink. And we just need a little bit of that. Okay. I will clean that up. Let's get that brush put away and go back to doing the straps and stuff. Sorry about that. It's a good thing I caught that though, because it would have been obnoxious to come back later and try to clean that out. All right, so we have the leather straps on the arms are done. He doesn't have any pants or boots. He is wearing like this kilt. So we're going to come around. We're going to trace around the edge of that pink. We're going to do this kilt in brown. And we're going to come all the way up to the belt with that. Be real careful. You don't get in on that pink for damn sure. That horn on his belt, it's okay if you get paint on that because we're going to come back and deal with that again later anyways. It was nice today on our Discord. We have a introduction section. And there's a lot of people that are on Discord never did it, so I said something about it in general chat, and several people added introductions, and it was nice. It's nice to learn a little bit about people and know what their experience in D&D or wargaming and stuff like that is, and a little bit about them. It's nice stuff to learn, especially if you're having conversations and stuff. If you have a little bit of common ground to start from. Also, those kind of about you introduction areas are good for people that have things that they don't like. They say they don't like this or they don't like that. It gives you kind of like a little, oh, okay, well, I'm going to stay away from this topic because this guy hates, whatever the topic is. And that's nice to do. There's no need to be confrontational if you know someone dislikes something. Now, if you organically find it out and it's kind of a problem, okay, that's one thing. You know what? I'm going to do this in brown, too. I wasn't going to, but I think it's going to look all right. And this isn't so dark of a brown that we can't use this as the base coat for our skulls anyways. That was a big chunk of our mini right there. We're going to do the back of the shield in the same brown. The wood part. Just make sure it's thin, so you don't have to come back here and do a bunch of more work. If you get it too thick, you're going to have to come back here and make sense of the madness, and you don't want to do that. So if you keep it thin, okay, so gotta get that inside portion there because it's like a metal cap on top of a wooden shield. That means we gotta come up here and paint these edges brown too. Probably should have looked at that before I got too into it. Okay. And I think we could do the handle of a spear very similar. Keep it thin. If we keep it thin, we save ourselves some work later. Tell you what, I freaking love these demons, man. It is not my favorite box we've done, though. Believe it or not, but I do like it a lot. I feel like I'm missing a lot. It needs to be brown. I'm going to come back and be like, hey, this should be brown. Oh, look, there is a little piece of support from printing there. And I'm just going to grab that with this sharp thing. I'll scrape it off. There we go. All right. I'm going to set this off to the side. Let's hot air gun him. Then let's get that, the larger brush. Oh, we can't use that large of a brush because we can't get it on the pink. So let's get, I'm using Territorial Beige. I'm just getting a lighter tone brown. Now I'm just going to kind of touch and pick up some light texture and some depth all across these brown areas. And that's already creating a nice look. I'm going to hit the brown on the shields with that a little bit. I'll get back in here a little bit better. A little bit more paint. On that skull, especially on that skull. I'm going to kind of saturate that. Then I'm going to come around and just kind of break up this area some more and catch some more detail. Then I want to hit that horn with it pretty good, but I'm going to have to come back and paint that horn completely, so it'll be all right. I'm going to hit the back of the shield a little bit, but not too much. There we go. I'm going to drag it down on some of this texture on the spear. Though I think I have other ambitions for this spear down the road. But I'll pick up some of that wood grain and stuff and it'll look okay. All right. I'm getting my starter brush, my Army Painter starter brush, and that beige. I'm going to paint that horn. I'm going to paint the whole thing. Even the little leather straps and stuff. And then, using that same Territorial Beige, I'm going to paint some of these straps on the clothing here, even though we dry brushed it in that color. I'm just going to use that same color and pull out some detail. And I'm going to do the belt. And I'm going to half-ass do the belt when I do the belt. I'm not doing a great job. I'm just kind of catching it. Okay. Now, we can do the brown, this beige. We can do this to touch his teeth. Start catching those. And that's about it. Now these don't look like they're metal. They look like they're supposed to be bone. So let's paint those. Oh, way too much paint. Way too much. So I'm just going to take some of the paint off my brush, pull that around, and grab that. All right, I think that's all the tan we need. So let's start looking at metallics and figuring out about the bone parts of them. Let's start with the bone parts of them. I'm going to get my favorite color in the world, pavement, and we're going to very, very delicately start hitting tusks and bones and spikes. Or tusks and spikes, not bones. So we got our pavement. My brush is damp. And let's start hitting these spikes on his back first. And we're going to do a real careful job on those. So we get this on our pink. It's going to be shit city. And just to make sure I don't have too much paint on my brush going in, I'm starting away from the body at the top of the spike and then coming back in towards the base of the spike. Because I just told you, it's going to be shit city if we get it on the pink. I'm not in the mood to go to shit city right now. Okay. All right, so you've got those 3 spikes, and then we have the hooves. And you're not in a race here, guys. Take your time, try to do a nice job. Well, I'm in a little bit of a race because I want to have this done within an hour so people will watch the video, but when you do it, take your time. Don't get it on the pink. Don't go to shit city. Okay. Now we have these ones on the sides of his head. Again, I'm starting up high, making sure I don't have way too much paint. And I'm working my way back in. Okay. Gosh, I can barely see anymore. Old man, look at my life. So he's got some horns on the sides of his mouth here. Be super damn careful with those. So I'm going to hit the outside parts first, and then work my way back to where they connect with his face. I'm going to hit any of the damn pink. Super careful. Nice. He's starting to look a little sinister and badass, huh? Just a little bit. This guy doesn't have long nails like the last one did. It's kind of disappointing. I actually like that. we have a couple little tiny horn touch-ups to do. Okay. Now when it comes to these, those look like they could be fur, but compared to that texture down there, it's almost like they're like spikes growing out of them. So I want to do what I did with the other guy. Instead of doing the dark black, I want to do, oh, hold on. Okay, get inside here. Just that little bit on both sides. Nice. So I'm going to do like the bone color. So I'm going to get khaki, which we're going to be using for some other stuff in a second here anyways. I'm cleaning my brush out with my mouth. So with my khaki and my brush is just barely damp, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to brush all these. And I want to try to make these look like teeth. Like teeth are growing out of his shoulders. And I want it to look like a gradual, the pink is turning into teeth as it comes sticking out further, as if they're still bursting through the skin as he's growing and getting older. Maybe they start as scales, and as time goes on, they start turning more into teeth. Something like that. I don't know. Man, I'm just painting them any. I don't know shit. It's just ideas I'm having. Oh. Okay. Now, I missed something on the back of his ankles. There's those spikes or horns or whatever they are coming out. And then we got to do something with these on the shield. We got to kind of lighten those up some. Then we want to hit this horn, lighten that up, including those little straps on it. Then whatever you have left on your brush, just kind of drag around and break up the monotony of his brown robes or brown clothing portion. Just with whatever paint you have left. You don't need more, but you will need more to come back on that skull. To come back on that skull, you want to get a pretty good coverage. I'm going to go back around one more time on these clothes. So I'm pretty confident that those are supposed to be chain or something hanging down. So I'm going to come back and hit those with that in a minute. But first, I want to come back on these too, on this staff, and catch a little bit more wood grain. All right, I know we're like running out of time here, I know. So for the horns, the first thing I'm going to do is get this pewter gray and a soft brush with plastic bristles. And I'm going to lighten up the horns and the antlers and the those things, the hooves. So with a very light brushing, And you can see that just that little bit on those makes an enormous difference. I'm going to touch the antlers, or whatever, these horns, not antlers, and I'm going to lighten these up. We're not going to get this on the pink, right? Deal? Not on the pink. Okay. I'm going to lighten these up a little bit more. There we go. Makes a phenomenal difference. It looks good. All right. Using that same brush, clean it out real quick. We're going to use elephant gray, which is a lighter gray. And we're going to hit these horns, but now we're going to focus on just the top half of each horn. Just a light brush on the top half only. Same thing on the one on his head, just the top half. Decorate those up. Okay. Then on the hooves, we're just going to go right across the fronts and not hit the sides with that. All right. Now, if you don't think these are lightened up enough, just flip them around a couple times till you're happy. Okay. Let's get metallics. So I have this metallic brown, and I'm not sure how good the coverage on it is. I don't use it a bunch. I think I used it a little bit earlier, but I can't even remember if I did or not. So we're going to take our time and be careful with this and see what it looks like. And we're going to start with the armor on his chest. It looks like it's coating okay. We're going to take our time and get this coated. It can be a little bit thin. All right, so the problem with this light color is that if there's any pink or red showing through, I'm not sure how well it's going to cover that up. So let's come back here on the back where I know I got pink on the armor and make sure we can cover that up. Yeah, it looks like we can. Okay. That's going to be our problem if we had one at all. Yeah, and a fortunate side effect of this dude being a badass is that his armor's all ripped up because he has spikes growing through him, growing out of him. Now I'm going to come back around the front. I'm just going to get a little more in this crack here where I feel like it needs to be a little better of a coating. And even though I do plan on hitting this with some gold in some spots, I just want to make sure it's covered good. Decent coverage. Okay. Leave that alone, let that start to dry, and let's do his arm bangles or whatever you call them, wrist guards, whatever. So we're going to take our time. I think I'd like to actually do these in a different color. Well, let's just get in here with this because it's easy to cut the coat with and it's going to look okay. Now those fingerless gloves, rationally couldn't be made out of this bronzy material, could they? No. But guess what? Fantasy. So the inside, like the handle of the shield, whatever that's called, and the fingerless gloves are going bronze. All right, I'm having all kind of problems here. I got the whole bench shaking now. Okay, I think that's all the parts I want to hit with that metal. And I do want to get a darker metal color out for some of the other parts. This is brushed dark gray. It's a folk art paint. It's still craft paint. It's real cheapy. Oops. We're going to do a couple things with this. We're going to hit this spearhead up pretty good with it. Now I know you're thinking, Doom, why don't you ever do non-metallic metals? Well, one, because I'm not really good at it. And two, because I don't really think that for a D&D miniature that's going to get handled on the table a lot, especially something like this that might be in like several fights, because you know, like there's hunting bands of demons out looking for people and stuff, maybe, or they're in hell, or who God knows where they are or what they're doing. I just don't feel like it's something that's going to get touched a lot. Needs that kind of attention. If I didn't have, you know, 1,000,000 miniatures, and I only had 10 miniatures, yeah, every one of them would be painted at like the best standard that could be done. But I don't. I have a lot, and I got to get a lot painted. And my pile of shame is a shelf, and that shelf is pretty damn full. And it's not like a shelf in your closet. It's like a giant garage shelf. So, yeah, I could do all these in an but I'm not gonna. So what I'm going to do here on these side panels that are kind of, I'm going to get those metallic, but just barely, and I'm not going to do a perfect job. Now, we have some buckles and stuff in there that probably could use some of this. So, I'm going to clean that brush out for a minute. I'm going to get this really tiny brush. I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to touch some of these little buckles. There's some little like tool belt kind of hooks on the back here holding stuff. I'm going to hit those with that too. And then I'm going to look and see if there's anything that really needs dire attention right here. Oh, you can't get to see that one. All right. I think think that's good enough. All right, using this really tiny brush. Let's see if I can even see his eyes. I can't really see them. All right, let's get his hair. Oh, we gotta do his shield. Hold on. Almost forgot the metal on the poor fella's shield. He'd have gone out there to fight and they'd have been like, oh no, it's plastic, we're saved. We can easily defeat this man with a plastic shield. But now that we're turning it metal, by hitting it with a half-ass little bit of paint here, it will be sturdy. Okay. Cool. That'll look all right. Oh, I forgot something. Gotta get my pavement. And do these little spikes on the back of his ankles. All right, hot air this dude. You know what? Let's really focus up on these edges of this metal shield here, because I feel like if we don't make sure that's thick enough to be noticeable, that it won't look the way I want it to look. So let's just quickly take that extra second to touch those a little better. Okay. Now this thing here, as I'm looking at him, is some kind of ring with a gem in it. So I'm going to do the outer ring, because it looks a little bit like a chain maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm going to hit that. Okay. Now we're going to dry them and figure out what we're doing about the hair. So what is called purple pansy here. And I think that if we get our brush damp, using our trusty tongue, and we're real careful, we can make his beard and his mohawk. Purple. And then you can come down here into the hair on its feet if you wanted. Maybe toss a couple purple hairs in there just to tie it in together and make it look like it might be his hair color. You know, the proverbial carpet matching the drapes. Now I'm going to take this, put the purple away. Let's take a look at him. I need to do something with his teeth. He probably needs some eyebrows of some sort, maybe. I'm not sure about the eyebrows thing, but he needs teeth for sure. And we need to touch up those bone things. So I'm going to get off-white. This is called antique white. I'm going to use that little brush that I was using earlier with the plastic bristles. It was real chintzy. And I'm just going to touch those lightly. Okay, I'm going to use that same color and just touch that skull again. I'm going to touch these bones on the shield a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to touch this horn, but not where the straps are. Specifically and intentionally missing those little leather straps. Okay. I think he looks pretty okay. There's some more things I'd like to do real quick. All right. I don't have a lot of really good metallics in craft paint variety, so I am going to get a little bit of real paint here, a little bit of miniature paint here from Army Painter. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of that. And I have not cleaned the off-white out of my brush. I'm going to grab that, and anywhere you want, just wipe some of that out. And then I'm going to hit some of this plate up and some of this metal on him, on his chest and his arms, just to give it a little bit of variation and wear and tear. And I think we're going to call that a win, except for the final detail of the gem on his belt. So I'm going to get a blue color in my small brush. And then I'm not going to do the base with you guys because we're out of time. I'm just going to do the base in brown. There's no rock on this base. I'm just going to do it in brown. And then I'm going to do a little bit of flock on it. A little bit of bright green flock. All right. For everybody at home, that is my neon pink one. He doesn't look as neon as the green one, though. And honestly, like, there's a lot of things I would like to do with him, but I'm just kind of out of time. So please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Leave a comment if you could. Check out the website, buy some minis. I really appreciate that for those of you that have been. That helps us a lot. Because we're just two dudes in our basement. We're not like a big-time mini company, you know. We're just regular folks trying to build a life. We're not big corporation. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Just lightening that up. Give it a little bit of depth. I should have done that immediately. All right. You can quit watching now. I know I'm over an hour. There's just some things I want to do. pick up those teeth. Sick. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.